Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Greetings, everyone. Worldwide, nationwide, worldwide, intergalactically, wherever you happen to be listening. It's cool.
Are you intergalactically certified?
Yes, I am intergalactically certified. I'm an intergalactically certified EMP. So
I was talking in the middle of my
me.
pop filter, and the microphone was not in the middle. It confused me.
Oh. You got to set up the pop filter on your black carbon steel microphone there. I am behind the black carbon steel microphone inside the Glass Case of Emotion, located at Silencer Shop Studios and all that good stuff. And it's our Thursday show. And so this is the last. Now, we talked about it earlier about how we're going to do an AMA. Yes, I'm going to do an AMA. We are going to do an AMA. Not an American Music Awards, but an Ask Me Anything. I guess it could be an AUA, huh? Ask Us Anything.
Ow.
Yeah. But on Friday's show, the grad program bonus hour is going to be an Ask Us Anything or Ask Me Anything. And if Jared gave you the instructions, but he's going to go ahead and give you the instructions again. If you want to post a question to the Ask Us Anything, where are they supposed to do it?
If you're part of the grad program, we're obviously going to go through your questions first. So you go to I just updated the group. It's called the Liberty Mastermind.
Oh, is that? Yeah. That's our group?
That's the grad
I wonder where that
exclusive
came from.
Group. It's going to be, it's literally a mastermind of liberty-loving patriots. So that's what it is, a Liberty Mastermind.
You're freaking me out, man.
So go there. There's a post in there that I posted that says, hey, we're going to be answering questions this Friday. Leave your question in the comment below. I'm sure most of you that already had questions did that. But if you're part of the public, if you are listening to my voice right now, you can ask questions too. And if we get through all the grad program questions, then we'll answer yours. Obviously, you have to be part of the grad program to hear the answers.
Yeah, obviously.
But you can go to the Student of the Gun group. And if you go to the Student of the Gun page, facebook.com/Student of the Gun, there's a pin post at the top that gives you a link directly to the group. Go post your questions in the group. If it's not in the group, it will not count. So do that.
We've got a suggestion already for the Team Honey Badger update theme.
What is that?
And it's Honey Badger theme, Wasp, Electric Circus. The animals are all insane.
Huh.
Let me see what else we have. Anything else here? What are you more interested in? Patches or bumper stickers? Patches.
Oh, is that the public group?
That's public group.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you going to carry today? And here we go. Youth of the Nation. We are. I don't know about that. That song kind of gets on my nerves. But thank you for that suggestion. Let's go. We're going to keep going until we find a perfect one. We are. We're going to keep going. I'm sure there is a perfect one out there. Yeah, we could do the Wasp Animal song, but we can't do the Wasp Animal song for the Team Honey Badger update theme. Because it's not for honey badgers. It's for big boys and big girls. So it's Thursday, as we said, and you've got your instructions. So if you want to participate, now if you don't want to participate, you just want to sit out there and be entertained, that's cool too. You know, you're an American or whatever you happen to be. You could be a Czech. You could be a Pole. You could be a Kiwi. You can be whatever you want to be. I don't care. I'm just here sitting behind.
It is 2016. Who are
That's
we
right.
to judge?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here. Maybe you have a fluid nationality. You know, there's gender fluidity now. You're not always a boy, I guess. But maybe there's national fluidity. Maybe you're not always a Czech. Maybe you could be a Slav or a Pole or something. I don't know. You tell me. You let me know. Keep me up to date, kids. That's actually one of the most fun things I have with the show is it seems like invariably every time we encounter another country or nationality, we mention it on the show, literally within a day, we get an email from someone that's like, hey, I'm in New Zealand listening to you buttface.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
That's pretty cool.
We've had people write us from Switzerland to tell us about their gun collections. And we don't get a lot of letters from France. I think
we've gotten a couple.
Have we?
Yeah,
from
because
France?
it was actually when we talked about when we did the Silencer Shop show, we got a message from somebody in France that says, well, we don't have to go through all that because we can go to the hardware store and buy a silencer.
Yeah, but you have to get the permission from the commissar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing in Europe. You can go into a hardware store in some countries, not all. Some countries, you just go into a hardware store and buy a silencer. But in order to get the gun to put it on, you have to apply. You have to get permission from the government, licensing fees and storage fees. And it's not just a one-time thing. I know most of them, it's an annual fee. And something that we've been trying to convince you or to kind of hip you to in America is everyone who's reasonable. All the reasonable people will try and tell you that, we need to model American gun laws after Europe because look how reasonable they are. Yeah. In Europe, firearms ownership and the use of firearms is a rich man's game. You have to have a lot of disposable income. Am I lying or am I dying? How much is ammunition over there? How much are your storage fees? Do you have to be a member of a gun club? And I guarantee you being a member of a gun club is not free. And I can guarantee you that your license to own a firearm from the government is not free. It all costs. So, and that's not even, you haven't even talked about purchasing the actual gun yet. We're just talking about purchasing all the various permission slips that allow you to pseudo have permission or, to own it. Can you carry it on you? Can you put it in a holster and tuck it under a shirt and walk around legally? Oh, yeah, exactly. So, but that's not what we want to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of politics, a little bit of thuggery, a little bit of yo-yo gangsta life, and then we're going to talk about AR-15s. But before we do that, let's go ahead and thank some of our friends because they are our friends, and the reason that we're able to get behind the black carbon steel microphones and do what it is we do is because of our friends like the ones at Duracoat. Duracoat Firearms Finishes, because life is too short to have an ugly gun. Brownells at brownells.com. They have pretty much everything you need for a gun, even if you don't have a gun. You're like, well, I'm not a gun guy. That's okay. They have other stuff like emergency and survival gear. They have dehydrated food, and they have dehydrated water. Do they have dehydrated water? They have empty cans. Just add water. No, actually, you can. What is it? You can buy cases of canned water. I think that's one of the things that they offer. Or they actually have these things that are really cool. The ammo cube and the water cube. They're stackable containers. So if you just want to buy empty containers and fill them up with drinking water and stack them, you can do that. Frog Lube. It just works. It's food grade. It's green. It's minty. And the great thing about the fact that Frog Lube is food grade, not petroleum based, it's not a harmful chemical. When you're using the Frog Lube, you don't have to worry so much about getting it on your fingers and then doing things like touching an optic or worried that the Frog Lube is going to touch or get on your ammunition and kill your primers or what have you. You don't have to worry that it's going to destroy the rifling in your barrels. Do you know that there are people out there in the world, Jared, who have completely destroyed the rifling on their barrels by using solvents?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, caustic solvents. Most solvents will tell you, only leave it on for so long and then get it off. Yeah. But there are knuckleheads that think, I know several custom rifle makers, and I know one who, he told me, he said, you wouldn't believe this. He was so worried about barrel fouling that he left the solvent on for an hour. And he said basically destroyed the rifling. And then he called me and he's like, hey, your rifle's all effed up. It won't hold a group. Really? Maybe because you destroyed the rifling. What? It's crazy. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff with Frog Lube. This is 2016. You don't have to use, 100-year-old technology anymore. Now, you can use that if you want. You're an American or whatever. I don't care. Jared, did you see the internets is alive with a news story about how Frog Lube might be coconut oil?
Yeah. Not frogs.
Not frogs. Yeah,
I thought that was like making fun of people that thought it was made out of frogs.
Yeah, it's made out of frogs. There's plenty of frogs, folks.
I didn't read this story. I just saw the title.
No.
And I didn't really care. So
Yeah. Anyhow. So there you have it. And we're going to mention our friends at SWAT Fuel. SWAT Fuel. Right now, we're getting to the end of February. By the time you hear this, there's only a couple of days left to use the code PREPARED. But you can jump in on that until March 1st, SWATfuelstore.com. And if it's after March 1st and you hear this, just use our promo code SOTG2015, and you're going to save some money, which is always a good thing. And Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the United States of America. You want to go to the centuryarms.com and check them out. How's that sound?
sounds like a plan.
If you haven't lately, you really need to. You owe it to yourself to do that. All right, moving on to the fun stuff. I'm guessing that many of you have already heard this, but I know, based upon history, based upon the fact that I introduced this to Jared yesterday, and I had been aware of it for a week or more. But the Ted Cruz campaign did a really funny, poignant commercial, and they based it upon probably the most famous scene from the movie Office Space. Yeah. Don't you think that is the most famous scene?
I think it is.
The killing the printer theme scene. Now, they used some music from the Ghetto Boys. Now, it's G-E-T-O. Apparently, it used to be G-H-E-T-T-O, and they changed it to G-E-T-O, according to Zachary. Zachary told me that. And mad props to Bushwick Bill and Willie D and Scarface. I'm giving them mad props. So don't get all up in my grill there, guys. Ghetto guys. But
I'm going to go hang myself now.
No, don't hang yourself. Go ahead and I want you guys to listen. Imagine, if you will, close your eyes. Imagine, if you will, Hillary Clinton and two of her minions out in a field, and there's a server there, and that server needs to die.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Left dogs in the press, keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.
All right, I know you guys are running to your laptops and your computers and what have you, so you can watch the actual video.
I think they'll probably just look down at their phone.
Yeah, or
search it.
And search it and look down on your phone. That stuff that was too good. Your brother and I were talking about it yesterday, and about how apparently Willie D, mad props, after this came out, he went and found a reporter to complain about how angry he was and how the Cruz campaign owed them an apology and so forth. And Zach said, he goes, well, Dad, that is intellectual property. And if they used it without permission, they could get in trouble. And I said, Zach, I don't believe that the marketing company that made this ad used it without permission. I'm going to hearken back to, how many of you guys remember when Weird Al parodied Coolio's, what was it, Gangster Paradise? Amish Paradise? You remember that?
Yeah.
And actually, he was up for a Grammy, I think. Weird Al was up for a Grammy or something for Amish Paradise. And somebody asked Coolio what he thought about it. Some reporter stuck a microphone and says, what do you think about Weird Al's Amish Paradise? And he got all offended, and he feigned offense, and he's like, oh, I ain't down with that. I ain't down with that. I ain't down with that. And Weird Al, being the nice guy that he is, actually, he felt bad. Right? Well, they went to his producer, Al's producer, and they're like, well, what do you think about the controversy that Coolio's upset? And he's like, yeah, he's upset, but he cashed the check. So he can shut the hell up. And I have to feel that there's a little bit of the, well, if you're a Willie D and you're from Houston's 5th District or what have you, you have to support Democrat candidates. You have to, because your life is wrapped up in Democrats. And so, yeah, you go public and, I'm very offended. I'm super offended. Nobody asked him. They're like, did you guys cash the check? I don't. That's immaterial. We're not going to talk about that. Like, I wanted you to know how publicly offended I am that the Ted Cruz campaign. And nobody said, hey, no one has mentioned the name of your group or your music for a decade or more, and now all of a sudden people are searching it. Does that make you happy? I'm offended. I'm offended. Whatever. Shut up. You're offended. Okay. Now, the reason that we played that was because we've got a story all lined up for you kids. And this is basically, it's a Go Team moment, but it has a gangsta theme. And I know that all you hippies out there, all you hip cats, you like it when we do gangsta-themed stories. So rather than do our traditional Go Team, what we're going to do is we're going to do the original by the Ghetto Boys. Damn, it feels good to be a gangsta.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
So we got a story here from BearingArms.com, and yes, once again, that was the Ghetto Boys. Mad props, Willie D. Please don't get angry at me. And it's the title of the story says, liquor store clerk kills restaurant cook robber in Tampa holdup. Yes, the title of the story says, restaurant cook. I was not aware of the term restaurant until yesterday, and I wasn't sure what they were referring to until I saw that a pair of would-be, and this story is by BearingArms.com, posted by Bob Owens, February 22nd, 2016. A pair of would-be liquor store robbers in Tampa Bay attempted to target the wrong man. And the original story source is, Tampa Bay, TBO.gov. One of two men who attempting to rob a Tampa liquor store was shot to death in an exchange of gunfire with a clerk late Sunday, police said. Cody Balesta, 20, was found fatally shot on the sidewalk near Cut Rate Liquors. Doesn't matter where it's at. Detectives are working on tracking down the other suspect who fled the scene. The store employee, a 57-year-old man, was not injured. The case was turned over to prosecutors. Once the investigation is complete, no charges are expected to be filed against the clerk. Now, this is the fun part. Cody Balesta's Facebook page suggests that the Twin Peaks cook, now that is where the restaurant came from. I was not aware that Twin Peaks was a restaurant, but now I am, and thank you for informing me of that. He was, according to his Facebook page, Cody was into the, quote, gangsta lifestyle. That's right. Yo, what up, gangsta? He was a thug. He was into the thug life. Now, Cody was a young Caucasian man, and there's a photo he was posing with some kind of a ugly looking revolver. I can't really tell what that thing is. He's got a silver colored chrome, maybe, I don't know, stainless revolver in his hand on one of his Facebook photos. And he was, into the gangsta lifestyle. Well, he still is into the gangsta lifestyle, only he is currently in the process of becoming worm food. So it's not known if the revolver Ballesta brandished in numerous photos on the Facebook page was used to open fire on the clerk. And it really doesn't matter. But here's what we've got. We've got a go-team moment for the clerk of the Cut Rate Liquors here. Goes to work, doing his job, and two thug pieces of human debris walk in and decide that they're going to shove guns in his face and tell him that they want all the money. Well, yo, gangsta! Guess what? Sometimes the good guys have guns, too. Jared, when do you suppose that the gangsta culture, thug life minions here, when do you think they're going to get the message that, hey, the American people are sick of your crap, and we're not going to be pushed around or bullied by you gangstas anymore. And if you walk into one of our stores, all gangsta style, and apparently they were wearing ski masks and what have you, you walk into our store all gangsta style, and chances are really good that you're going to get ventilated, you piece of human filth. Now, I'm sure as the story progresses that what we'll probably hear, if I was a gambling man, we'll probably hear from the deceased thug's family that he was in the process of, Jared, what?
He's probably going to college.
He was going to go to college, and even though he'd had some troubles in his youth, he was turning his life around.
Yeah.
He was in the process of turning his life around. And he wanted to be a veterinarian. He was going to go to college. And right after he robbed that, just one more liquor store. He just one more liquor store he was going to rob. And after that, man, he was going to turn his gangsta life around. And you just don't understand. It's so sad. Oh, shut up. Yo, gangsta, you want to keep playing games? Well, that's what happens to you. I thought you kids out there in the audience I thought you'd truly appreciate the little bit of gangsta moment there for us. All right, moving on. Alex has something to say to you guys. Perk up your ears, hippies.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Well, thank you, young Alex. I really appreciate that. And actually, that leads me to a good point here. Friday last, I believe it was. Let me look and see the date. But yet again, it's funny. We publish these stories, we talk about things, and we find, based upon what's going on in the world, that people apparently are still not getting it, and they still say stupid things like, you can't fire until fired upon, or never throw the first punch, or, blah, 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 blah. And this mentality that we've addressed, these problems that we've addressed previously, they're just not getting fixed, or people are still not getting it. So what I did on the 20th, whatever day that was, I don't even remember anymore what day the 20th was. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. On the 20th, I republished one chapter from the Patriot Fireteam book. And essentially, it's the failed strategy of defense, talking about never throw the first punch, fire only if fired upon. And it's up free for all of you hippies out there in the world. All you have to do is go to the Student of the Gun blog and open it up. And right now, as I'm speaking, it's the number one story, or it's the top story. And if you'd like the whole entire book, well, you can do that too. As a matter of fact, we're giving away a lot of the book, aren't we, Jared? Well, if they go to the How to Defeat Terrorism in the 21st Century tab there, and they click that, they can get the Chapter 9 free for nothing. And I gave them Chapter 4. I think it's Chapter 4. I can't remember. Free for nothing. So I don't know what else to tell you guys. I mean, other than me coming to your house and sitting down next to your bed, at night time and opening up the book and reading you a chapter each night before you go to sleep, I don't know what else I can do for you. What do you think, Jared? You're awful quiet over there. Is your microphone turned on?
Yeah, it's on.
Are you pensive? Are you
Yes.
being pensive?
I'm being pensive.
And contemplative? Are you being contemplative?
Contemplative.
Are you contemplating?
I was just thinking that we could read them the book.
You want me to read them the book?
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there were 4 individuals concerned about the fate of the nation, and they banded together and formed a Patriot Fire Team, each man pledging his allegiance to the other.
Is that the end?
Is that the end?
That's the end.
Now, if you have not, if you've read this story, do me a favor. Go there and share it, because your friends and neighbors and all of the reasonable gun owners, and there are a lot of you out there, and there are a lot of people in the audience today that are part of the new gun culture, and I'll call them the new gun culture because it's people who have purchased a firearm for the very first time in their whole life in the last 5 years or so. And there are, if not millions, hundreds of thousands of those people in the United States. People that up to 2008, 2009 had never owned a firearm. And then they pulled their heads out of their rectum and started looking around, and they're like, wow, I do not like the direction that my nation is heading. I'm going to go buy a gun. Maybe take some training, maybe get some ammunition, So we have a new gun culture. We have people that were on the complete outside of the tent. They were, I know that there's gun people, and there are people that think they need to own guns, but I don't really think. And then all of a sudden they reach that epiphany in their life. And now they're part of the new gun culture. But the problem with being a member of the new gun culture is this. You're inundated with a lot of mythology, misunderstanding. Jared, it's like the guy that we met at the indoor range who went out and he got himself a gun. And he had his concealed carry permit, but he he explained to us very calmly that, well, I don't really carry it because I don't want people to think I'm paranoid. So he went through all of that, but he's still dealing with the preconceived notion that carrying the gun makes him a de facto paranoid or makes him a de facto bad guy or, part of the problem or whatever. And people are still wrapped around this. I'll give you a great one. This is something that I deal with in the article. We still encounter this advice from the experts. Well, if you're going to carry a gun, you better not ever take it out of the holster unless you know you're going to shoot somebody. And Jared and I, and the people who have been doing this for a long time, say, well, that's retarded because if I see danger or I perceive danger, I need to get that thing into my hand. They're like, oh, no, you better never break leather unless you know you're going to use it.
I was watching a TV show the other day with Alex, and they said that it was a chick that was teaching another chick how to shoot, and she said something.
Oh, how cute.
The chick shooting was like, well, can I just shoot to wound? And then the chick teaching her was like, no, if you're going to shoot, you need to, if you're going to use that gun or if you're going to pull the gun out, then you need to, I don't remember what she said. Oh, if you're going to draw the gun, you need to be ready to kill or something like that. I was like, that's not even correct. And people that watch this TV show and don't
Neither
know,
side.
Yeah.
Both sides are like.
Both sides are wrong.
Yeah. It's like, well, first of all, your intention is not to commit murder. Your intention is to, just launch enough projectiles and so that they stop doing whatever, lethal activity they were involved in.
Oh, and you don't pull a gun unless you're gonna kill.
Oh, that's what she said. Yeah. Unless you intend to kill.
Unless you intend to kill, and I was like, that's. But the thing is that obviously we know that's not true, but other people that aren't us or that aren't in the gun culture are watching this TV show and they're like, oh, that's right. Either I shoot to wound or I kill him.
Yeah. Well, Yeah. So it's that, you're right. It's that kind of nonsense that people, that they deal with. And then the sad thing is they don't know any better.
And I kind of feel bad for Alex now because every time I watch a show that has like guns and stuff in it, she's picking it up on it too now. But I can't do it. I cannot watch these shows.
No, I can't. That's why your mom won't watch TV or movies with me. She's like, oh, you can't just watch it. I'm like, no, because it's like, it's the sad thing. The sad reality of the world that we live in is that people don't train. They don't get real expert training or education. And without saying it and without admitting it, their training comes from television and movies. And this has been the case for decades, at least 2 generations. They assume, and without even admitting it to themselves, I give you a great example. You know, you watch network television, and over and over and over again, you see the detective or the cop or the whatever shoots the guy, and then they do the flying backflip, from the impact of the bullet. Every and how many people in the audience have actually seen someone shot for real, like someone who was actually shot? I would say very few, probably less than 1%. How many of you have watched television and movies and saw people, quote unquote, shot and their reaction to it? And without admitting it to yourself, you're conditioned to believe that that is how people react to bullets impacting them. And it's not the case at all. But you think it is. And you might, and if we had a conversation, you'd say, oh, I'm not an idiot, Paul. I know that television isn't real. I know that movies aren't real. I'm not an idiot. But at the same time, that is the only source that you have. Because you've never gone through any formal education. You've never gone through any formal training. Your training is all watching stuff on TV. And the current gun culture, the new gun culture, the majority of them are still dealing with this nonsense, this, never fire unless you intend to kill, or never draw the gun unless you're planning on killing, or what have you. And that's why, that is why we do what we do here at Student of the Gun. Now, it is Thursday, or it's Thursday's episode. I don't care when you listen to it, like I said. But being Thursday's episode, we have a special Student of the Gun homeroom brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters. And, of course, we have a homeroom theme song.
What you gonna do when it all comes back to the place that you never wanted it to come back to? And where you gonna roll when the bottom drops out and you got no place to go? Who you gonna trust when trust is a must? You better roll with the rest of us. So pack your bags and all the faith you can, cause it's about ready to hit the fan. Come to ready. It's 2012, all about the re-election of an antichrist. Come to ready. You don't believe me, just so deep into the soul of the liar.
All right, let's talk a little bit about AR-15s, black rifles, M4s, whatever you want to call it. A lot of you guys have them. Thousands, if not millions of you guys have these rifles. And the AR-15 is the Mr. Potato Head for big boys. It is the transformer. It's the thing that as soon as you get it, you want to change it. Now, do you have to change things on your rifle? No, you don't have to. They come from the factory ready to go. Now, some of them, to cut down on cost, they will sell them to you with just flat top rails with no rear sights. Some of them have A2 front sights. Some of them have just a gas block with a rail on it, and that's cool. And you're going to need some type of a sighting system if you want to hit anything with that. But you don't have to change them. You don't have to change out the fore ends, and you don't have to change out the pistol grips, and you don't have to change out the stocks. You don't have to, but I know many of you are going to. Now, the question on an AR-15, and many of you know this, the lower receiver is actually the gun. The lower receiver, that piece of aluminum, the part with the serial number inscribed on it, technically, from a legal standpoint, that is the firearm. not the trigger, not the grip, not the upper receiver, not any of that. That is the technical firearm is the part that has a serial number on it. And everything else that's attached to that is literally just parts. You can buy upper receivers, bolt carrier groups. You can buy stocks and pistol grips and all these things that just scare the living crap out of progressive liberal weenies. You can buy new barrels. And I had a question yesterday. Somebody who came into the Student of the Gun University. Actually, they were here for Fight U, and they said, "Hey, I got a black rifle question. I've got an AR-15." And I want to put a longer gas system on it because I want to put a longer rail system. And I said, well, what do you have? I said, let me guess. You have a CAR-15 or an M4 style with a 16-inch barrel and a short gas system. And he said, yeah, that's what I have. And he said, I was talking to a gunsmith about lengthening the gas system and so forth. And this is my advice to him. I said, well, how much is that going to cost you? They said, well, with parts and labor and everything, it was going to be $300 plus to do that. And I said, take that money and buy another upper receiver. I said, just get another upper, because that's the great thing about black rifles. That's the great thing about the M16, AR-15, whatever platform, whatever you want to call it, is that you pop 2 pins, you can take the upper off, you can get a different upper and put it on there. So if you have a short 16-inch barreled carbine upper and you want to put a 20-inch barrel rifle upper on it, you just push out 2 pins and put it on there. Now, the lower receiver is pretty simple. If you've never built or assembled a lower, once you've done it, you're like, wow, that was easy. That was like so easy a caveman can do it, right, kind of a thing. That's not the big deal. The trick of making ARs run properly and run reliably is not the lower. It's not all the parts and components that go into the lower receiver. The trick with making an AR-15 run reliably is the upper receiver and the gas system. If you've ever had an AR-15 fail, if you've ever tweaked or messed or screwed around with an AR-15 and it stopped working, it wasn't reliable, the bolt wasn't going back far enough, it was blah, blah, blah. The vast majority of cycling and function problems that you're going to have with an AR-15 are based around the action and the gas system. So my advice to you is don't screw with that. You can screw with anything else. Change the furniture, change the fore ends, change the sights. But when it comes to the gas system, I would advise you not to mess with it. Okay, that's your advice here. Do you have homework for him?
Go to studentofthegun.com, click on the orange button, sign up for the 7 training tips that could save your life. They could save your life someday.